All right, what's going on, everybody? It is Monday. Let's see, November 16th, right at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I got out this morning, nothing to talk about, so I scratched all that footage. Matt and I did an all-day sit yesterday, all day Sunday. I think 13 and a half, almost 14 hours. Sat through the worst weather I think I've ever hunted in my entire life. 30 to 40 mile an hour sustainable winds, all morning long, poured down rain, and then I guess it stopped raining probably around 11-ish. So I jumped out of our set, ran that decoy up into the field about 100 yards, 102 yards to be exact. Got him set up, got him all lathered up with some tinks, ran back down. Matt ran into town and grabbed us some lunch. We had lunch and then right back into the set and sat there all night. The wind died down right at about an hour before sundown, and that's what we thought was going to happen. So that's why we stayed, figuring these deer would come up into these fields, but we just didn't see anything. Not a single deer all day long. Got out again this morning. I was running a little late. It's funny because my wife was like, "Hey, you hunt today?" I'm like, "Of course I'm hunting today. What are you talking about?" She's like, "Well, it's 5:30. I'm like, "Holy crap." Jump up, jump in the shower, throw all my stuff in the truck, and head over to the farm. And I decided to hunt that fence post and overlook that field because it was the closest thing I could get to, because I knew I was going to be walking in right at first light. So I didn't do too bad in time. By the time I threw everything up and got into that little pop-up blind, it was just a little after gray light. So sitting there to my left, seen a doe first thing this morning, cruising that wood line, and then seen another doe in that little section of the food plot that I can see from that spot, and then a little spike buck, maybe a 4-point, came through, and that was it. So I think the last deer I saw was around 8:45. Sat there until 10:30 and then called it. Came out, ran and grabbed some corn, because tomorrow DeerCast has it all. Tomorrow is the first great conditions, as long as it doesn't change, and it looks like the best day to hunt all week. So I'm going to do an all-day set tomorrow. I'm going to hunt that fence post area again. Good little setup. Ran over to the feed mill, grabbed 400 pounds of corn and another 100 pounds of their deer blend. Got that all put out in the field. So I ran back out to the farm, put that out. I took the dominant buck, rubbed it all over that licking branch on 2 different spots, dumped some fresh Tank 69 in there. So man, I've got that thing juiced up to basically let it rest tonight and then get right back in there first thing tomorrow morning. But I've just scratched all the footage. I mean, you can only talk about hunting so much without seeing deer, and we do a lot of that here. But here's why. I like to share the entire experience, because it's really easy to watch some of these deer hunting shows, even YouTube channels, and all you ever see is like the wins, the big bucks hitting the ground, and that's great. Everybody loves to see a big buck hit the ground, but at the same time, that's really not what it's about for me. I like to share the full experience of all the wins, but most importantly, all the losses that we encounter out here as normal everyday hunters. I mean, we're not hunting on, deer farms. We're not hunting on, big ranches or anything like that. These are just our little spots that we try to work on, try to maintain some deer. And speaking of maintaining deer, Frisky, this was his 3rd year that I've seen him, been passing him, really excited about him. And last week I saw a picture of him from somebody else on Facebook, and I was like, ooh. So I reached out to the guy, said, "Hey, looks like we're hunting in the same spot." And he's like, "Yeah, really close." Because we had timestamps from what he had posted and what I had was only about 20-25 minutes apart. So we got to know each other, and that's another thing. I mean, just making friends with the people that are hunting in and around you. And I was like, "Hey, if you take the deer, just let me know, so I'm not sitting around waiting for them or looking for them next year." And sure enough, Saturday morning I get a text say, "Hey, my brother laid down Frisky." And bittersweet. I really think that deer needed another year. I think next year he would have been 5.5, and I think he could have blown into something special. But at the same time, this is one of this guy's best bucks he's ever taken. And what I congratulated him, because at the end of the day, he got out, he put in the time, and he took a great buck. So you can't get mad. We don't own these deer. I mean, we build a history with them, but at the same time, get to know your neighbors, start working with them, congratulate them if they hit your target deer. Great. At the end of the day, at least you knew about it and they let you know. And now after today's encounter, me and this guy have exchanged multiple different deer pictures that are out there. He's sent me one I hadn't seen yet. Probably sent him a couple he hadn't seen yet. But that's what hunting's all about. And if you create these partnerships versus, oh my God, they're my deer. They're not. They're God's deer. So make friends with your neighbors and the people hunting around you. Get to know who they are. Go knock on some doors. Introduce yourself. Because that partnership that I made just a week ago just kept me from thinking that Frisky's still running around. And then I did a carpool this morning and got pictures of that deer less than an hour. He was in my field, less than an hour that he walked over and got killed by his brother. So shot those over to him, said, hey man, these might be the last pictures of this guy, so I wanted you to have them. He was more than appreciative of that. We talked about hunting Fort Knox and some good areas out there. So just a good friendship that was formed from deer hunting. And then, guys, that's what it's all about. But I'm gonna wrap this up by saying, I like to make videos, sharing the entire experience. And that's what Deer 30 Outdoors is all about, is not just going out and, paying $2,500, $20,000, whatever to hunt a great big deer. And that's great if you do that. And, we all wish we could do that. But my channel is more about just going out, getting in the woods, doing the best that we can do as part-time hunters, put in a food plot or two, do some reconnaissance, do some baiting, whatever you do in your state and your area, but enjoy it. I'm fortunate enough, I'm in a business where I can hunt more than most people, but at the same time, I have guys on my team that can literally only hunt on the weekends, maybe a Friday here and there. So, Matt, for example, is a perfect example, and he got to get out and harvest his first buck in 2 years. So what a great experience. It wasn't no giant monster, but it was a great call buck for that farm. And he was more than tickled with that. And that's what it's all about. That's what hunting is. So I hear it all the time. What do you think about this? Or, is this one good enough? It doesn't matter what other people think. Is it good enough for you? That's all that should matter. So just like Saturday, passed on that beautiful 3.5-year-old 8-point, but it's just not what I'm looking for this year. And I know I've got bigger buck opportunities out there, and it's just the first week on the rifle. So I got plenty more time this season for myself to try to continue to hunt for a bigger deer. But there's plenty of people that would have shot that deer and have been amazing deer. It'd have been an amazing trophy and it'd have been an amazing story. For me, it was just that. It was an amazing story. I called that deer in out of the woods by doing a rattling a sequence and a grunting sequence with the black rack and the extinguisher. So that's what brought him out in the field. He never saw the decoy. I grunted at him with the extinguisher, got his attention, and then he was still going to skirt away, and then I snort weaved, and he came right to that decoy and spent 10 minutes in the field with me that I got the video and make sure that was the deer I wanted or not want. But bottom line, guys, is there's a lot of awesome shows out there, and I watch a lot of them. I'm probably subscribed to 30 to 50 hunting channels on YouTube alone. And I watch all of them religiously because I'm always constantly trying to learn something new from somebody else that's got more experience than me. And I think that's what I try to do here in with Deer 30 Outdoors, is just try to pass on our experiences. But it's not always about killing the biggest buck. And it's about hunting first and foremost, getting off the couch and getting in the outdoors. And if you're happy with the harvest, be happy with the harvest. Don't look for ridicule. Don't pass on it because you think that buck might not get the attention of enough people. At the end of the day, it's your story. It's your memory. So long story short, yes, it's always fun to see someone drop those big, huge, gnarly hammers and give them a dirt nap. And we all love to watch those videos. But it's also awesome to watch a video that someone got to take, the first deer in 2 years, and it might not be the biggest monster, but it's a great cull buck. It's a great memory. It's a great trophy to that individual. So respect them and, their memory of being in the outdoors. And yeah, I'm gonna get off my soapbox now, but I just wanted to share a little bit about what drives me and Deer 30 Outdoors and all the guys. It's about everyday hunting. We're hunting these small little parcels. I got one place that's less than 25 acres, and so it's hard to hunt those types of places, but we're doing it. And we're not going on to these big, huge farms where somebody else has, found a 220-inch deer for us. And the guys that are out there that have those opportunities, that's awesome too. I watch all your shows. And I love seeing those big, gnarly bucks hit the ground. But at the same time, this show is just about doing the best that you can do when you can do it with what you have to do it with. And that's what we're doing each and every day. So like I said, I scratched the past 2 days worth of footage. Got one out on Saturday there. but the guys have had a ton of success. Adam dropped a hammer this weekend, so I can't wait to get you his footage out to you. But other than that, it's now a little after 1, so I've got to get back in here. I'm getting ready to go do some work today, and then I'm going to be doing an all-day set out at the farm tomorrow. So guys, hope you continue to tune in, and until next time, wake up and hunt.